Okay. The long-awaited news. To my beloved family, friends, and fans. In 2020, I'm sure we all had that something that challenged us. For some, it might have been the isolation, maybe the struggle of keeping a healthy diet, or the fight against the feeling of being lost. Well, mine began in May when I heard the words, "It's gonna be really difficult for you to have children one day." It's as if I lost my breath and my vision blurred, but unfortunately it didn't stop there. Then following words were, "We also need to make sure that you don't have cancer because that's a really high possibility as well." Before I fell to pieces, I asked to be excused and use the restroom. It was there I cried my heart out, all alone, begging the Lord that none of it would be true. As the youngest of 6, my older siblings had no issues having babies and getting pregnant. I was already an aunt of 20. Clearly, the Mancusos were fertile. Was I not going to be a part of that? In 2021, I married Mason Prososki. He is the most perfect match for me, and I thank God for him and his family all the time. It was soon after our wedding that we were ready for kids and knew our faith would be put to the test. With the knowledge of my challenge, we wasted no time and chose a more aggressive route by taking medicine every single month on specific days, specific times, with a shot to follow along. With every passing month of being unsuccessful, the fear of failure as a wife and as a woman became heavier and heavier. I felt like I was letting my husband down, his family down, my family down, that my value as a woman was lessening. Now let me be clear that all of these feelings were only mine. No one else felt the same as me. Instead, they were my rocks, my voices of reason and encouragement. It was my husband and both sides of my family that kept me grounded and spoke truths into my life. But in December of 2022, however, I hit a low. I just saw another negative pregnancy test result, and I just couldn't take it anymore. I cried more tears than ever and just begged the Lord to hear my plea. Well, he did. It was another month later that I had my first ever positive pregnancy test on January 12th, 2023. Absolutely elated, I was jumping up and down. My husband and I were already thinking of ways to tell our family. The world just seemed so different to me. I felt like I finally made it. But I never heard my baby's heartbeat. I'll never forget that sweet baby. And I know at this point in my letter, it might sound odd, but I really thank that baby for so many things. But ultimately, I miscarried. That miscarriage was the hardest experience I've ever had thus far. I will spare you the immense amount of pain that I felt and refrain from sharing the intimate details of losing my child. But let's fast forward. Fast forward to June 2023. My husband and I had the choice. Either continue to try building our family or put it on hold and sign with the Omaha Supernovas franchise as the first ever franchise player. After a lot of prayer and discussion, we decided on the latter. We felt that choosing the volleyball route was in fact the harder decision, but it would ultimately test our faith more, and it would give God a bigger opportunity to show his goodness and grace to us. So we got to it. The Supernova staff and I literally hit the ground running. We were here, there, everywhere for months, trying to get the word out and get people excited about professional volleyball coming to the state, which honestly wasn't too difficult. Momentum was flowing, and it was truly so cool for me to be involved in my home state communities, witnessing the anticipation and excitement for the coming months ahead when our season would begin. To that, I just want to thank all of you guys. To our fans, you are the impressive ones. You are the heartbeat of our success, and you guys are the reason why women's volleyball will be around forever. But 2 days before our mini camp started on December 4th, Mason and I were shocked with another positive pregnancy test. We weren't on any medicine. We weren't taking any shots. We had really no understanding of how this happened. But my body had done something that it had never done before. My doctor even said, this is extremely rare. In our minds, though, we knew what that meant, an absolute miracle. So my dearest supporters, that is my injury. It's a bittersweet moment to have my time as a player come to an end a lot sooner than planned, but oh, how the sweet is so much more delightful. I'm going to be a mom. Baby coming July 25th, 2024. So with that, I want to take a moment to thank a few people. First, Diane Mendenhall, our team president. She has been an absolute angel through all of this. Diane was the most perfect hire for this franchise. She has worked so hard, not only for the franchise, the players and coaches, but for you guys as the fans. If you ever have an opportunity to thank her, please do. She's more than deserving. Secondly, to my teammates and coaches, they have given me so much support and have truly filled my cup with joy and excitement. Always protecting me. They won't even let me carry a med bag, but they're always caring about me. Next is the rest of the Omaha Supernovas staff. Being a female athlete, if you become pregnant, the typical response is typically negative. You hear things like, how could you be so irresponsible? You're useless to us now. We don't see a future with you any longer. But let me be clear that not a single person, a part of the Omaha Supernovas staff, has demonstrated an attitude like this, even in the slightest. I couldn't be more grateful for each person and how they've treated me through this whole experience. Lastly, you guys, thank you to you, our fans. It was such a huge blessing to have your support these past few months. I will always cherish the moments that I entered the court this season and I heard you all erupt. Even now writing, I find a smile on my face just imagining it all again. I love you all. So thank you for hearing my story and giving me this opportunity to show you. I know it was personal, but if there's just one person out there that I can encourage in whatever capacity, this was all worth it. This was worth being vulnerable. So never lose hope, no matter the challenge. And I know the natural next question is, will you be back next year? All I can say is if it's part of God's plan. Sincerely, your hometown girl.